Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're viewing from all over the world and you're new here, kindly subscribe. My name is Esther, and this is Baki's Talk. Today, we shall be reviewing a book called Wealth of a Nation. The title of this book is An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, but it's commonly known as The Wealth of Nations. This book was published in 1776 and by Adam Smith. He was a Scottish philosopher and economics, a political economics. He was also referred to as the father of economics. He was a good man, yes, to some extent, I think so, because looking at the era in which he wrote this book, this was the era of the mercantilist system, and he is a capitalist, so he tried to see how best he can stop all the mercantilist economic system, and then see how he can introduce the capitalist system. So here we are going to review his book. Okay, so specifically, we shall be reviewing Book 2, Chapter 2, which talks about of the money considered as a particular stock of the society and of the expense of maintaining the national capital. Okay, so Book 2 talks about how we can use the general stock in maintaining nature, and using money as a particular stock in society. So prior to this time, that is the mercantilist system, they use goods in exchange of goods, which does not make many sense to Adam Smith. Using goods, let's say I have this hair and then I want a torchlight. What would I do? This hair is worth over maybe 10 times. You can buy torchlights for like a 10 torchlights. So what will I do? I'll just go exchange this one for just a particular, like just for one torchlight, which does not make many sense to Adam Smith. You were devaluing the hair to that of a torchlight. So what he was saying here is, let's use income, let's use money in exchange of goods instead of using goods in exchange of goods. So he tried to see how best he can introduce money as a particular stock. So now if I want a torchlight, then I don't have the money for it, and I can sell my hair and then buy torchlight, and then I can even have something like remaining. You can have something worth the torchlight and you can afford something else because you will have enough to buy torchlight and have enough to save. Okay, so here it describes two types of income or revenue. Okay, the first is the gross income and the second is the net income. Like I said here, I own a house and this house is up for rent. Adam Smith is saying the tenants that would like to, rent the house will have to pay me money. And also, I will have to offer my service to him. So now, if Adam Smith here, let's say Adam Smith here is the tenant, my house is going up for 5 million euros. Adam Smith here is going to pay me 5 million euros. But let's say I have to do maintenance for electricity supply, water supply, and maybe the window is broken. After him paying me the 5 million euros, I will have to see that I try to remedy all of these problems. So that process and the amount of money I will spend, the remaining will be my net income. So let's say he paid me 5 million euros and I use 2 million euros to settle all of these expenses. The 3 million euros is what is referred to as my net income, and the 5 million euros is what is referred to as my gross income. So me having 5 million euros, then investing, let's say you're investing again the 2 million euros because you want to satisfy your tenant, and then the 3 million euros is what is remaining. okay, instead of me having to put up a house for rent, and then maybe by then I'm in need of, let's say, a car which is not even worth up to 1 million loans, and my house is worth over 5 million loans, exchanging the car for the house. So Adam Smith was totally against that. And he also pitched how best we can be productive as in capitalist system. You want to see how best we all can use, our different skills in order to raise revenue for ourselves. In that way, our nation will be rich, instead of you counting on the gold and silver you have as a nation to just say, oh yes, my nation is wealthy. Most times I can say we are not rich if you just tell me that we have minerals, we have, peace in society. That's all important. But let me tell you this: if the people in that country are developed, if the people in that nation are developed, believe in me, they're considered to be one of the most successful and wealthiest nation, as said by Adam Smith. And we can see it's practical today. If we have a group wherein you have less of unproductive people, you will not experience growth. You will not experience growth. So that is what Adam Smith was opening our eyes for us to see. So in this book, like I said, we're reviewing, okay? I personally like most of the theories and policies in which Adam Smith propounded, but I believe his style was too technical. You want to portray this type of message using technical terms, using critical scenarios that require you to just think and crack your head. Mind you, we're not dummies, but the brains are not the same. People take time to process certain information. And if we have all these ideas in over 5,000 pages, I'm afraid, okay? I'm really afraid. But the idea was all in place, just at the style. And in as much as I'll say that is the way they used to write back then, like Goldsmith, Oliver Goldsmith, and other writers back then. But you portraying these type of important policies and theories, you need to have to break down your English, break down some certain scenarios so people can understand what you're trying to say. And now we go to the themes involved. For book 2, chapter 2, I take note of some certain themes like a free exchange. That is to say, if we have a society wherein we experience free markets, okay, the people can be able to develop, not you putting up something to rent and you have a host of government policies that will see how best they can break down this exchange. You engage in corruptive acts and then you will not see anything to show for it, okay. And also state economic regulations. They should have economic regulation that should monitor the ins and outs of the goods and services in the country, but not to some extent that will limit the productivity of the people in that nation. Okay, so they should be able to have free exchange. They should have economic regulations, not so as the government. For me, the government should have limited powers. Okay, if the government have limited powers, to be honest, you will see the level of taxation. But if the government does not have limited powers, you see that taxation will be high in just little businesses, and businesses will not be productive at all. And if you want to be productive, you will have to see, okay, let's say I invest 5 million euros. At the end of the day, I would like maybe something like 10 million euros. Let's say even not up to 10 million euros, but 8 million euros. Let me have something to show for it, a good amount that I will say, oh, these products yield fruits, but not something, let's say, you have taxation over 2 million euros and then you have other things to settle as a landlord, and then you don't have anything to show for it, okay. And also reinvestment. People should engage in reinvesting. Let's say you have, as a landlord, okay, I've already paid you 5 million euros and your net income or net revenue is about 3 million euros, okay. how can you use 3 million euros? How can you reinvest that? Not all, maybe you use 500,000 euros or 1 million euros to settle some of your immediate needs and all of that, but try to see how best the 2 million euros will go into reinvestments. Try to engage in some other activities. Don't focus on just a particular thing. We'll see back then the people, most of them had jobs, okay? But let's say if all of you engage into farming, then who is going to sell? Who is going to sew? Who is going to cook? Who is going to clean? Who is going to serve as politicians? Who is going to serve as engineers? So if what I know best how to do is braiding, then let me invest in braiding. If what I know how to do best is cooking, then let me engage in cooking. If what I know how to do best is farming, let me engage in farming and not something else. So Adam Smith was opening our eyes to see all of these things and see how best we can adopt these things in our daily lives, and then see how best it's going to work for our society. But most nations that has adopted this style, to be honest, they have so much to show for. So I'm encouraging for the country I'm in, for us to also adopt this style Adam Smith was trying to say. Okay, so I believe that Adam Smith make much of a sense, even though the style for me was too technical, and let's say the mode in which he communicated the information was not too good, especially for people in his time. Not everybody can read and write back then. Not everybody can afford a book back then, because we know how best they were suffering and all of that. They cannot afford products. They cannot afford enough income. Well, there was not even an existence of income. So that was not too okay for me, because you need people to comprehend these things. It took us time. It took us days, weeks, months to critically understand this book. So that was not good. That was not a good way in which he communicated that information. But all the same, Adam Smith did very well in bringing out these issues. These are what we're looking for in our times, not to be comfortable about the situation around us, because we're not doing it for ourselves, but rather we're trying to engage in sustainable development for not only our generation, but our future generation. So Adam Smith was not helping those in the 70s and the 80s, but rather for us in the 20s, because we now know what is gross income. We now know what is gross revenue, net revenue as well, to see just how best we can adapt this. So thank you all, and watch out for my next video. Bye. I hope you like it. So kindly subscribe, like, and follow. I'll update you if I have another video. Thank you.